My name is Jake. I was born in a small town, in a little house with a leaky roof. My mom worked very hard, washing clothes for rich families. She came home tired, but always smiled. I never met my dad. He left before I was born. We never talked or saw each other. I had a little sister, Jenny, who had big eyes and loved making things out of paper. We didn't have toys, storybooks, or even good shoes, but we had each other. We ate simple food, slept on the floor, and shared one blanket to stay warm. In the morning, I helped Mother. I washed dishes, carried water from the pump, and took care of Jenny. At night, Mother came home. Her hands were red, her back hurt, but she always kissed us both. When I turned 9, I started working too. I collected empty bottles, old newspapers, and broken pieces of plastic. I walked for hours, looking in bins and on the streets. I carried big bags and sold the things I found. People laughed at me and called me trash boy. They didn't really look at me. They didn't care. Some closed their doors. Some walked away fast. Some just stared and said mean things in quiet voices. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I didn't say anything. I just kept working. I wanted to help my mother. I wanted more food for Jenny. I wanted us to have a better life. In the trash, I sometimes found magazines. Some were dirty, some were ripped, but some were okay. I liked the ones with pictures. They showed people in nice clothes, walking on clean, shiny floors. I showed them to Jenny and said, "Look, they wear shiny things. They smile. They look so happy." Jenny would laugh and say, "One day I'll make clothes for you. I'll draw them myself, I promise." We dreamed at night while the rain fell on our roof. We closed our eyes and dreamed of a better world. A world with no hunger, no pain, and no fear. Just sunshine and happy music. Years passed. I grew taller and stronger, but we were still poor. I washed cars, sold candy, carried heavy bags, and worked at building places. Every job was hard. Every day felt long. Every night was cold, but I didn't give up. I couldn't go to school, but I learned from life, from people I met, and from my own mistakes. I still remembered those pictures, the bright lights, the happy faces, the beautiful clothes. Sometimes I looked at myself in water puddles. I was dirty and tired. I asked myself, can that ever be me? I didn't know how or when, but something inside me said, don't stop. Keep going. So I worked, I waited, I hoped, and I believed it. One day I was cleaning the town square. I was sweeping dust everywhere. The sun was hot, and sweat ran down my neck. A woman walked by. She held a notebook and some pencils. She stopped and looked at me. I felt shy and looked away. I kept sweeping, but she didn't leave. She quickly drew a picture of me. She didn't ask. Then she smiled and said, "Thank you," and she walked away. I didn't think much about it. I just went back to work and forgot. But that little drawing changed my life. She showed it at the big market in town. People saw it. They talked about it. They asked, "Who is this boy?" Strangers began to notice me. They saw something special in me, something I didn't see in myself. A few days later, she came back. She asked my name and told me hers. Her name was Miss Emma. She was an artist. She liked to draw real people. She said, "There's something special about you, something strong." I didn't understand, but I smiled and said, "I'm Jake." She asked me if I wanted a chance, a new path. I felt scared. I had many questions in my heart. I looked at my old clothes and felt very small. But then I thought about Jenny. I thought about Mother. I thought about our dreams and those bright pictures in the magazines. So I said yes. My voice was soft. My heart was beating fast. The next morning, I wore my cleanest shirt. I brushed my hair. I waited for Miss Emma. My hands were shaking. My stomach felt tight. I was excited but also scared. Miss Emma came in her small car. She smiled and said, "Are you ready?" I nodded. I took a deep breath and got inside. It was my first time in a real art studio. The room had big windows, white walls, and many strange tools for making art. They told me to stand, to look at the light, and to just be myself. I didn't know what to do. I stood still, looked at the floor, and felt confused. But Miss Emma said, "Don't worry, just breathe, just look at me." She talked while she drew. She told funny stories and made me laugh. That helped me feel calm. Little by little, I relaxed. I smiled. I looked up. I felt strong. After the drawing, she said, "You did well, very well. I'm proud of you." No one had ever said that to me before. Not like that. Not with so much kindness and truth. Miss Emma showed my drawings to her friends, to people who build things, and to people who sell art. Most of them said no. They didn't understand. They said I looked too simple, not fancy enough. But one small clothing store said yes. They liked my eyes. They liked my story. They said, "Let's try something new. Let's show something real." My first job was small. I wore old clothes and stood in the street while someone drew pictures of me. But I tried my best. I stood tall. I looked straight ahead. I believed in myself. People started to notice. They asked, "Who is that boy?" They liked how I looked. Not perfect, not fancy, but real. Miss Emma helped me all the time. She showed me how to stand, how to look proud, and how to speak with confidence. Miss Emma even bought me my first real shoes, my first nice shirt, and my first suit. I looked in the mirror and couldn't believe it. I smiled so much. Jenny cried when she saw me. She hugged me and said, "You look like a movie star." Mother didn't say many words, but her eyes were full of tears. She touched my face and whispered, "Thank you." I worked harder than ever. I learned about clothes. I studied new words from other places. I practiced every day. When I felt tired, I remembered the trash, the hunger, and the mean names people called me. I told myself, keep going, keep walking, keep dreaming, keep fighting. The small clothing shop that gave me a chance became bigger. My world grew too. Before, my face was hidden behind bags of trash. Now, my face was in store windows. I traveled to new cities, places I only saw in torn magazines. Every step reminded me how far I'd come, the long hours, the many clothes I had to try on, and all the questions from people. It was all hard work. Some days I felt very tired. I missed the quiet of our small home. I still heard people calling me trash boy in my mind. But then I thought about Jenny's happy eyes, Mother's tired hands, and our dream of a better life. That helped me keep going. The way to my new life was not easy. Many people said no to me. Many doors stayed closed. In the fashion world, people often looked down on me. They only saw where I came from. They didn't see where I wanted to go. I had to learn to speak better, to stand tall, and to understand their world. Their world was shiny and clean, like the pictures I once saw, but it also had problems. I remembered the hunger, the cold nights, and how people used to ignore me. Those hard times gave me strength. They reminded me I was real in a world that often felt fake.